head women's basketball coach at Southern University, Coach Carlos Funchess. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Man, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, brother.
Hey, you bringing in the new year. You guys get a victory Thursday night against Prairie View, and it is the new format in women's basketball in this conference. Now with games, standalone women's basketball games on Thursday night. For you, I just got to ask, with that transitioning, your thoughts on that new format with the schedule moving forward in conference play.
Well, I like playing with the guys, playing Saturday and Monday, but, this is something that we're going to have to get used to. So, it's just one of those things. It's just a change, and it's going to take a little getting used to for everybody.
You look at you guys' non-conference schedule. It has been a tough one, a brutal road, as you guys have taken on plenty of top 25 teams, one in Oklahoma, Iowa State, Nebraska. Then you guys took on North Carolina Central. Then you move on. You took on Texas. And then you just wrapped up on the 20th of December, non-conference against Illinois. A tough road, but nonetheless, I got to ask, because I heard these same sentiments on the other side from Grambling State women's basketball coach when she took on LSU, and she was a little frustrated about the matchup and was like, I'm not built like Coach Funchess down there in Baton Rouge with that tough non-conference schedule. I'm not much of a fan of that, but for you, taking on these tough teams, top 25 teams, building a program and continuously getting your team ready for conference play, what is that non-conference schedule like in your opinion for yourself?
Well, it's a chance for us to grow as a team, as a unit. We do a lot of team bonding when we're on these trips and things like that also. And you get a chance to play against different styles of basketball, styles that you might not see in the conference. So, you have to prepare for everything from zone defenses to full court pressure like Texas is going to play. So it's just an opportunity to go out and get better as a unit.
When we looking around women's basketball today with the talent that's around, what are you seeing in the talent, especially when you play in those top 25 teams that separate when you see why they're the top 25?
Well, size is a big difference, from the perimeter. I mean, most of those guards are 6'1", 6'2" on the wing. And then when you start talking about post position, most of them have at least one or two kids at 6'5" or 6'6". So, that's the biggest difference. Just the size differential.
You guys take on Prairie View. Sandy Pugh, former coach here at Southern University. You know her very well, as you was on the staff with her before she transitioned and went over to Prairie View. You guys go on the road 60-48. You get the victory. You shoot 21 of 51 for 41%, 3 of 11 from the three-point line for 27%, and 15 of 35 from the free throw line, shooting 42% on the other side for Prairie View. 14 of 45 shooting around the perimeter for 31%, 2 of 10 from the three-point line, shooting 20%, and they were 18 of 25 for 72% from the free throw line. You guys out-rebounded them, 40 rebounds, 20 offensively and 20 defensively, to Prairie View's 29 rebounds, 11 offensively, 18 defensively. You're looking at your team, as you guys seem like no matter how tough that non-conference is, once they get into conference play, it's automatic. It's like autopilot. What did you learn from your team coming out of non-conference and then coming into conference play to be able to start off 1-0?
Well, I thought, in the non-conference season, we played some of the top 25 teams tough for one quarter or two quarters. And I think over in the Bahamas when we played, we were down 4 going into the fourth quarter against North Carolina State, they have an excellent team. And then we played the University of Washington, and with 5 minutes to go, it was a 4-point game. So we showed that we could play some really good basketball at times. We just needed to put 4 quarters together. Now, the other night going into the Prairie View game, I thought we were a little rusty starting out, but we continued to get better and played hard, tough, hard-nosed defense. But one thing, like you said, the free throws. We were 15 for 35 from the free throw line. So we must improve on that in order to get what we want to get.
Yeah, free throw shooting. And then in this game, are we seeing even in women's basketball what we're seeing on the other side with men's, with the amount of threes being shot in the game? What is women's basketball game looking like these days?
Well, it's going to vary from team to team. We didn't take – I thought we took 11 threes the other night. and it was just dictated by how they were playing. We got to the paint all night, and that's evident in us taking 35 free throws. But we got to do a better job of, knocking down the free throws. Some nights we might shoot 23. It just depends on what the game is going to call for to try to get a victory.
Let's go through this team. Coach, introduce us to some returning starters of this team and the new faces of this team that's going to power the Jaguars through conference play.
Well, the usual, Aaliyah Fontenot, she's returning from last year, Tiana Lidge, Sky Castro, Anaya Gordine, she played during the conference season last year. And all of those are going to be solid contributors. Dakai Sanders, she transferred in from Alabama State. She's running the point guard position for us. Sanaa Reed also, she's another returnee. She's doing a great job for us coming in off the bench. We have some good freshmen, Jocelyn Tate and Demar Porter. I mean, both of those young ladies are going to be solid here in the future. I think Jocelyn had 9 points and 3 or 4 rebounds the other night, but she's a tenacious defender. We got Tanaya Lawson, who actually transferred in from Texas Southern, so she'll be playing against her old team today. So we're just looking forward to just meshing and getting better each and every game, and hopefully by tournament time we'll be clicking on all cylinders.
You're talking about Texas Southern. They defeated Grambling on Thursday, and I think that turned some heads of everybody saying, well, okay, well, what about Texas Southern? Looking at them, what do you see on film from today's opponent?
They are very athletic. They're going to crash the boards. They have some kids that can really shoot the basketball. So it's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to play with a lot of energy, especially coming off a win like they did against the preseason #1 team. So, I've been keeping an eye on them the entire year, but they've been playing some solid basketball.
And, can't do this without your staff. Your staff heading into this year, give us a rundown of who's helping making this thing go with you.
Well, Jeremy Bowden, he's my defensive coordinator. He does an excellent job of getting the kids prepared each and every game. And Patrice Carter, she also does a great job. She does all my out-of-bounds stuff underneath that sideline out of bounds, and she's over academics, so she does an amazing job. We have graduated 28 of 28 seniors over the last 7 years, so, that's a testament to all the hard work that they put in on the academic side.
We live in this ever-changing world, Coach, of the transfer portal, and I heard you say you have some transfers on this team. What is the transfer portal? Because we get caught up into it, talking about it in college football all the time. But what is this world of transfer portal looking like in women's basketball, and how are you able to navigate through that world? And is there similarities across all sports that you've seen thus far with the transfer portal?
Well, it creates a lot of parity, I think. You have some Power 5 kids that go to school and don't get a chance to play a lot, then decide to transfer. And then you get opportunity to get those kids. For us, it's been more of a good fit and fulfilling some needs. We had an immediate need at that point guard position, and I knew Dakai Sanders and knew what kind of player she was, playing against her for the last 4 years. So I knew she could come in and immediately help. So, that it depends on what your team is going to need. I like to get kids in, freshmen, and develop them. Mm-hmm. But if you have an immediate need, you have to go out and get some experience. That's just, the way the game is nowadays.
Yeah, you're talking about the developmental side, and that's the part I still love to hear coaches say, because we live in this plug-and-play society, because it's like, how much time do coaches really have because of the pressure of it's almost like instant gratification these days. Like, hey, we want it and we want it now. And for you, when you look around, what is, along with the transfer portal, the difficulties of navigating NIL with women's basketball at this time?
Well, with us, it hadn't affected us a whole lot, but, we play against a lot of these, Power 5 teams, and they have kids that's making $250,000 a year, $150,000 a year. You see kids leave Power 5 programs like Oregon and transfer to Nebraska or to Texas. And, a lot of times that's due to NIL money. I mean, it's amazing, but Some of these kids are making major money. As a matter of fact, I heard one kid this year got offered $3 million to go to a couple of different schools. So, and she's a high school kid. So, I mean, it's unbelievable the way the game has changed here in the last few years.
Does it make it difficult for Southern in particular when you're looking at, a young lady who is coming from a Power 5 and you say, you know what, she may be able to fit us here at Southern for our, we consider low resource. How difficult is that for us to be able to go out and get some of that type of talent?
It's very difficult. If the school is offering them $100,000 and, you're giving them a full scholarship and maybe a little cost of attendance, maybe it's $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, it's slim to none because a lot of those kids are going to go for the money.
Yeah.
But, we want to get the right young ladies in here, the right fit. We have some young ladies now that had opportunity to go get a lot of money in cost of attendance, but they decided to come here simply because they wanted to be a part of a family-oriented program. And, that's the young ladies that we target.
Have we seen the transition of like what we've been watching in college football where you have the athlete who is getting developed? I'll take like an example, Giovanni Gibson at UAPB, right? He took the Division II route from Opelousas, went to the University of Arkansas, Monticello, then went to UAPB, and then became an All-American. Now he's signed at Oklahoma. Are we seeing that where there are young ladies in this level who are being able to move up and take that next step to the next level?
You will in some cases. We've had young ladies in the SWAC to leave and go to Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
Especially here in the last 3 or 4 years. So, you do face that, but again, you want to have some kids that's going to have some loyalty to the program and stick with it regardless of, how good the offer is from another school. Again, that's the young ladies that we try to target.
And let me ask, Coach, the last question for you is, as I try to wrap my head, because I don't get a chance to talk about it on the women's sports a lot when it comes to transfer portal and NIL. If it was up to you, and you can answer it, you don't have to answer it, what would you want Southern's NIL to look like that you think could help, take the program to another level? Because, there's always room for growth. There's always room to be able to move forward. For you, what would that look like to help take it to one more step above more than what it is now?
Well, I can't put a dollar figure on it, but again, you want to target the right kids. You don't want the kids in it just for the money. You want them to come in and do it for the love of the game, number one. Of course, they need to be taken care of a little bit. But, I want kids that's going to be loyal because the money's going to come. Even one day when you're working or whatever. But, come in, get a quality education, and play basketball for the right reasons. And to me, the right reasons are to try to be a part of a winning unit and continue to grow a family-oriented group of young ladies and try to win championships.
Yeah. And I asked that, Coach, because I want people to start to understand and wrap their mind around the ever-changing, because I think when it comes to recruiting, people just think you can just go out there and you can sell Southern. In actuality, right, you can go out there and you can just sell Southern, but I think you and many other coaches who are in the profession realize that on the other end, there is an incentive that these young men and young women want to come along with that, with now being able to go along with the God-given ability and the talent that they have. And I think we're going to have to come together as lovers and supporters of Southern and realize we got to put our money where our mouth is in order to help coaches like yourself to help elevate and take programs to the next level. Because it's one thing to win a conference championship, but then it's like, okay, what do we have once we come back the next year to build from what we had last year? And that's the part that I want to continue to push, that message that we can win it, but then what are we going to help build from it the next year? Or we're going to come back to the same situation. And it's going to take all of us as supporters and lovers of Southern. And I like to have that conversation on the public platform to get people to understand it's more than just Coach Funchess going out there winning games. Coach Funchess and his staff need support, too, when they're going out there recruiting, when they're selling Southern more than the name of Southern, and when you want them to do more than just what they did the previous year. It takes support and it takes finances, and I hope people will eventually start to buy into seeing that if we want to take this to the next level, we got to put our money where our mouth is, Coach.
Well, you're right, exactly, because even, recruiting out of the transfer portal, within the first 5 minutes, 90% of the kids are going to ask you, Coach, what is your cost of attendance? How much money will I be getting extra every semester? That's within the first 5 minutes, because just about every team in the SWAC right now offers some type of cost of attendance. So, that's a barrier right there. You're going to always have to jump over.
Yeah, and I'm right here anytime you need me, Coach. We can have the conversation. We can bring more awareness, and that's ultimately what I want to do, bring more awareness to how this ever-changing landscape of college athletics continues to change, and what is it doing to affect us on our level right here in the SWAC and what you're doing at Southern, because you still find success in what you're doing. And so, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning. Good luck against look like it's going to be a tough Texas Southern team today.
It's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. We're going to have to play well.
Well, Coach, man, good luck to you guys. I know you got shoot-around coming up, man. Appreciate you for coming on this morning, man. And Happy New Year, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Perry. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That was the voice of Coach Carlos Funchess, the head women's basketball coach.